Hello and welcome to Ley Lines, conscious conversations and connections with incredible people doing amazing things for humanity. We're about to speak with this most beautiful woman. Her name is Mama B, or B Starlight, from the Owl and the Pussycat Sanctuary. They're in Crabs Creek, and I just love this woman. I've known her for a couple of years now, and I can't wait for you to hear about all of the amazing things she is doing with animals that have been rescued. Hello and welcome to Ley Lines, Mama B. B
How you doing,
Starlight.
Sammy?
It's so good. We've got a couple of names for you. So I like Mama B myself because you are the mama of the sanctuary, the mama of the Owl and the Pussycat Sanctuary. And I absolutely love you. I just did a bit of an intro before and was saying that I've known you for a couple of years now. I was very, very blessed to see you on Instagram, see the sanctuary on Instagram. And at the time, you were focusing on one of your beautiful mares, Gemma, who was like mother mare of the sanctuary. And she
Yeah.
was unwell. And so I asked if I could come and do some healings on the animals, which of course you said, yeah, come along. And you had a beautiful event on that day as well. I remember there was
Yeah.
an event and there was heaps of families and there was beautiful cheese boards or I don't
Grazing
know,
platters.
grazing
Yeah.
platters and
Plant-based
music.
grazing platters.
Oh, it was just incredible. And when I met you, it was like coming home. That's
Oh,
how I
that-
felt with you. Yeah, because I just think that you're such an exceptional woman. And I want everybody to know here your why. Why is it that you have created this sanctuary? How did it happen? All of the ins and outs.
Well, I'll try and keep it brief, but it started when I was a little kid. So I was just an absolute animal lover. And I've always had a very, very big space in my heart for farmed animals because, they're the most abused animals on the planet and they're not very well understood. And I always daydreamed and dreamt all sorts of dreams of eventually being surrounded by rescued farmed animals. So when we bought this very large property, accidentally large, we didn't mean to buy one this big, it's 130 acres. About 6 years ago, I was like, great, I'll finally be able to have animals. And actually, before it settled, someone found out that we were buying it and they said, we want to rescue 4 boy calves from the dairy because, of course, they get rid of all the boys. And I was like, yeah, sure, bring them. Knew nothing about cows, but I quickly learnt. And then the sanctuary just organically grew from there. And, it wasn't meant to happen until my human children had left the coop, but they all just found me. So we've got nearly 70 rescue animals in care now, and they've come from all different places and they've got unique personalities and different rescue stories. But it really is my sole purpose to be surrounded by rescue animals and to be their voice, even though I really truly believe that animals are their own best advocates. For me, it's about providing this space and a platform so that they can, connect with humans, because that's what it's all about at the core. Yeah.
Absolutely. And I know that a lot of your animals, they're suffering. You have one animal, is it one of your horses is suffering from PTSD? And
Yeah.
you,
Solstice. Yeah.
yeah. And a lot of these animals have either been neglected or they've been abused. And so you've given them this safe sanctuary to be able to be absolutely loved on. I see videos every
Yeah.
now and then of the kids singing to one of the horses, or you sitting with the cows. And for a lot of people out there, that's a dream to be able to sit next to a cow and pat a cow, because they are the
Yeah.
most beautiful sentient beings. People just don't even realize they are. It's like having, I mean, I've been to a dairy farm once, and most of the cows were terrified of humans, but there was just this
Yeah.
one that followed everyone around and was just love. And my
Yeah.
heart broke. And you are giving
Yeah.
these animals like the best chance at life. So you rehome as well, is that correct? You rehome
Yeah.
animals?
Yeah. So yeah, we do rehoming. We've got a very strict rehoming process so that we make sure that we vet the homes really carefully. And because we don't want any of these people to end up back in the system that they came from. Because unfortunately, a lot of horses end up in kill pens. We've got a couple of boys that we rescued from dog meat dealers. So there's all this really dark stuff that goes on that people don't know about. So that's why I say too that animals are their own best advocates, because if you come and sit with them and get to know their personalities and hear their rescue stories, you know, people just aren't aware of what goes on. But yeah, so a lot of the larger animals we've got here at the moment are permanent residents for one reason or another. And then they advocate for their own species. And like you were saying with the cows, so many people just love cows and they would never even consider sitting with a cow, because a lot of people are taught that, you know, bulls are aggressive and all that sort of stuff, and watch out for their horns. And it's just not true. Like, they literally are grass puppies. So it's just, it's a really, really special thing to be able to do, to offer this soft landing for these abused and neglected beings, and even more so for them to be able to really shine and speak for their species.
Yes, yes. And I know I spoke a little bit, Gemma. So beautiful Gemma that left us it was February of this year. And she, oh my gosh, the most gentle, loving horse that had been through so much in the way of abuse, being an ex-race horse, and a lover of food, and and you was she had about five meals a day, didn't she?
Yeah. So because she was a thoroughbred, you know, humans have selectively bred all of these beings to suit our purpose. So racehorses are thoroughbreds, and they need a lot more care and a lot more energy to keep weight on them, especially as they age and in winter. So in the end, the last year or so, she was on 5 meals a day. So she was our most expensive resident by far. She came to us with a lot of health issues. She was very, very old. We lost her at 38, which is incredibly old for a horse. And the last sort of 6 months, we spent a lot of money trying to work out what was wrong with her. So, you know, she had blood tests and ultrasounds and all that sort of thing. And then we established she had a massive growth, and we had to make that beyond heart-wrenching decision to, you know, I talked to her and tried to work out when her time was. But we just had to help her, you know, leave this realm when it was time. But looking back, I really believe she hung on. That last week or 10 days, she was here because she knew I wanted her to be here.
Yeah. Yes, yes.
You know, she was so selfless.
She was an angel, and I felt so blessed that I got time to go and do my work with her. While we speak about, you know, how much she ate, etc., that last week we got to we got to watch via Instagram what was going on with her and the treatments that were happening, etc. And I haven't mentioned to anyone as yet, but the Owl and the Pussycat Sanctuary is actually a non-for-profit organisation. So you guys heavily rely upon donations in order to keep everything running. And I'm guessing that maybe a bit of this medication, etc., was out of your own pockets in those that last week or so.
Yeah, so we went into this with quite a large nest egg of savings. We've kind of torn through that. In the beginning, I hate asking for help. I'm not good at that. That's one of the things that the horses are teaching me, which is really good. They're the best teachers. But, you know, someone very wise said to me a couple of years ago, you're not asking for you, you're asking for them. And I was like, okay, I heard that. So I've got much better at asking for people to help the animals, you know, and it's still a bit uncomfortable for me, but we need to do it. And once we sort of, you know, they all just came and we just had all these beings, and we set ourselves up as we're a registered DGR charity, which means that when people donate, it's a tax deduction. And we do all sorts of things. We do private tours, and we do big grazing platters, and we do events, and we've got beautiful accommodation, and you and I are going to run an event. And so there's all these ways that people can get involved. The animals write beautiful tales once a month. So these beautifully written and designed tales that we send around the world, and they come with a free postcard. And we've actually got a gorgeous little subscriber in Japan who writes the postcard back to the animal who's written to her and asks them questions. So it's a really special way to help people connect with the beings from afar, but also a way for them to be able to support them and get something in return. So, yeah.
Yeah. And I know that you've done a couple of events. You have had one just recently. Now, you're stepping into a little bit of another realm now, because you have just gone and done your certification for equine therapy. So,
yeah.
What's the exact name of the certification that you've done?
Well, I can't call myself a therapist because I'm
Yes.
not trained in any sort of, you know, therapy or counseling, and I wouldn't want to be either. I'm not sure I'd be the best person at that. So it's actually, it's called equine facilitated learning. And the way I did it with my 16-year-old daughter as well, because she's like a born 25-year-old, and she wants to be a clinical psychologist. So she's going to do that, and then she's going to weave the animal stuff in with it. But the way we are presenting it here is it's not just about the horses, it's all of the animals. So equine sort of facilitated learning is really just a really unique sort of therapeutic experiential approach to helping people learn about themselves. So it's about self-care and self-discovery and regulating your own emotions. Some people use it in the corporate world to learn about, you know, team dynamics and leadership and all that sort of stuff. I mean, horses are incredible with that stuff. When you meet Matilda, who's very much in charge of the herd, one of our rescued Mount Kosciuszko Brumbies, you know, you can really learn a thing or two from her about how to lead a team. And they've done a lot of research. So it's very evidence-based. Over the last 30 years or so, they have researched why it is that humans feel an incredible feeling of bliss and just contentment when they're around horses. And there's a science to it, you know. And I'm a firm believer that it's not just equines, that all animals, and particularly rescue animals who've been through so much, can provide that same thing for humans. There's something incredibly therapeutic and amazing watching someone just settle down with a napping cow, you know, and just breathe with them, and just even being in nature, you know, it's what we need. We need connection with other living beings. We need to be in a space where we can just be, you know. And so the horses or the animals can bring all of this learning about ourselves. And animals don't judge, you know. There's not really any yesterday or tomorrow. It's all about now. And yeah, I could say so much. There's so much benefit about being in the presence of rescue animals and being on this sort of journey of self-discovery, or even just taking a moment to sort of rest and recharge, because that's what they do for you, you know. And they're just the electromagnetic fields of their heart. Like, there's so much. It's just mind-blowing. And me as a facilitator, I don't really do that much, you know. Like, the animals do all the work. And for us, we're offering it in a very different way to sort of classical equine assisted learning. We don't use the animals in any way. So everything that happens in this space is an invitation. It's an invitation to all participants, human and non-human. And we make sure that there's consent on both sides, so it's safe for both of them, and people can step away or take as little or as much as they want, and the same with the animals as well. So yeah, it's pretty special. It's kind of mind-blowing work.
Well, listening to this, it makes me really excited about what you and I have been. It's taken us a little while to actually let things happen. I know last year was this this time or just a bit earlier last year, your property was totally underwater.
Underwater. Yeah.
Yeah. And we were speaking about how dry it is this year compared to
Yeah.
last year. At this time, you were like, just stop raining. Now it's like, can we have some rain?
I mean,
Um,
I can't believe it because it was about 11 months of solid rain, and we got smashed by 5 floods last year. The first one was the worst at the end of February. We had $150,000 worth of damage to our infrastructure. We had a sinkhole at the front gate that you couldn't get in or out. Like, it was absolute chaos. And because we're not primary producers, we didn't get any help. We don't get any government help. And in actual fact, rural aid was airdropping feed to animals, and they wouldn't drop any to our animals because we're not primary producers. So it was incredibly frustrating and angering time. And yes, we wish the rain would stop, but now here we are and we're just so dry. So now all of the nutrients washed out to sea. Now there's fire ants over the border, and there's this massive hay shortage. So the hay prices have skyrocketed. Like, this winter and spring alone, we've got a $25,000 hay bill. So it's just, wow. It's crazy. Global
so you're
warming.
you're needing donations more than ever before. And this is part of the reason why you and I have got together. And I mean, there are a lot of opportunities out there. We'll speak into what we're about to do very shortly, but there's opportunities out there for people that are watching this. If you share this with others, for them to also do things at the sanctuary, beautiful things like we're going to be doing to help these animals. So Mama B and I have got next Saturday, Sunday, the 10th of September at 10 a.m. We are going to be holding it's a mini retreat. So it's called Six Senses Mini Retreat. The things that we're looking at offering, of course, we're going to be having the animals around. I don't know if do you want to speak into what they're going to be doing there? Because, I mean, you've already said we're not making any animals do anything, but what is it that you'd like everyone to know about this retreat and the animals?
Yeah, so we've launched, the wellness experiences that we're doing here, we've called it Six Senses, Six Senses Sanctuary. So this is a sanctuary for your senses. So our senses are completely, we are just so bombarded out in the real world, and it's a bit of a bubble here, and because our senses are so overwhelmed in the real world, most of us are just walking around in our heads. We can't even feel in our bodies anymore. And that's what the animals can teach us. Non-human animals can teach us to connect back to our bodies, to listen to our bodies, and to engage again with all of our senses. And horses in particular have this magical sixth sense magic that they weave in. So for us, we want people to be able to come, to just leave everything at the gate, to settle in and to start to sort of tune in and listen, deeply listen to your own body and listen and learn from the rescue animals. So, it doesn't matter if you're scared of horses or anything like that. You don't have to have any one-on-one interaction with them, because horses have a huge electromagnetic field of their heart. So they can actually work their magic on regulating your emotional state from a distance. And that's how they keep themselves safe and the herd safe, is they can regulate one another without even touching. But you and I have designed this amazing mini retreat to really be focusing on those six senses. So the animals bring the sixth sense, and then we've got all these delicious things that, touch and smell and taste, and it's going to be a sensory feast, but also it'll help you just really just calm right down and just really drop in. And it's deep rest. That's what we need. We all need deep rest.
Absolutely. So we're also, with the animals there, we're also going to be having a cacao ceremony. So you'll be dropping right into your heart space. And horses are all about heart. Like, it's interesting as a healer when I have any interaction with horses, even when I first met Gemma, Gemma looked at me because of the whole electromagnetic field thing and me working with energy constantly.
Yeah.
Her first look at me was like, whoa. And it took
Yeah.
her a while to at the start, she didn't know what to do with the energy that was around me. I really do feel that.
Yeah.
But I mean, think about, we do that as humans. We'll look at people sometimes, whoa, that's a lot of energy around that person,
Yeah.
whether
Yeah.
it's good or it's bad. So yeah, we're
Yeah.
going to start with this cacao ceremony. We're going to be using essential oils because of course that's part of my medicine, and horses are actually really selective with essential oil. You can actually offer essential oils to horses and they will choose what they like and what they don't.
Yeah.
So I love that about them. And it's the same with us because, of course, we know that with essential oils, we're not just talking about smell, we're talking about emotional things as well. We're talking about
Yeah.
the spiritual and the physical. There's so many different elements. And then we're going to go into and we're going to go deep. And I love this. We're going to be doing breath work. And Mama B was talking to me about how we do these 6 breaths and to bring us back into center. And I've actually, I wanted to be really frank and honest. When I first left the army, I went and did equine therapy. And one of
Oh,
so one of the exercises that we had to do was go chest to chest, or it was more belly, but near their lungs. And
yeah.
we had to breathe with them. And we had to
Yeah.
and we'd eventually get into sync without even trying. It wasn't a conscious thing. And so I love it that we're going to put breath work in there to go and
Yeah.
deeply center yourself, just like the horses do, and just like you will with the animals that you're going to be interacting with. And then at the
Yeah.
end, we're going to be having a sound bath, which horses love, animals
They
in
love
general
it.
love.
They love
Yes.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
my
they love
dog
it.
loves it.
Yeah, so it's incredible actually when we do crystal bowls here, and we actually did that a few days before Gemma died. We did a crystal bowl healing for her, and the horses love it. They can feel the energy that's coming out of the sound, and it just brings them right down. And then because it's brought them right down, then they're co-regulating us as humans, and it's just this beautiful feedback loop of co-regulation and just heart-centered fabulousness, really. Like, it's hard to put it into words unless you experience it.
And I totally understand how that would work too, because when we're working with sound vibrations, especially from the bowls, there is actually vibrational patterns going out into the atmosphere. And because they're such energetic beings as well, and we're such energetic beings, you can only imagine the magic that is happening in that moment I'm really excited to do
It's
this.
exciting. It's exciting stuff. It really is. And it's
Mhm.
just, and there's nothing that anyone needs to do. There's nothing that's required of you. That's why this work's so powerful, because if you go, and all of the therapies are amazing, but if you go to talk therapy or you go to any of those things, they definitely all have their place, but it requires something of you. But when
Mm.
you're working with horses or animals, it doesn't require anything of you. You just have to be open to it and to let your senses watch. It's just watching and being. It's all just about being.
Oh,
Yeah.
no, it is going to be magical.
Yeah.
And you'll also have an opportunity there uh, to get yourself a grazing platter,
Yeah.
go and donate a bale of hay especially with the price of hay at the moment, it will be totally helpful for you. So, there's ways that you're going to be able to give back as well, because these animals, all of them have served a purpose on this earth, which probably it wasn't their natural purpose. They were here to be. And then they've
Yeah.
been been told to do,
Yeah.
and some of the things that they've been asked to do, and the environments that they have been put in have been so traumatic for them, that to me this is just such an opportunity to be able to give back to these beautiful beings, but also to give back to you for everything that you're doing, Mama.
Oh,
Really,
thanks, darling.
I am so grateful for people like you that are connected you know, connected to Mother Earth and to all of our beautiful brothers and sisters, which aren't human, because they
Yeah.
aren't. They're our brothers
Yeah.
and sisters. I'm going to cry in a minute.
Totally are.
So yes, yes. So I did have to also mention, so I always pull an oil at the start of, before I jump onto you, just an intuitive oil to see what comes through for you for the day. And I love what came through today, because I think about your experiences that you've had, especially over the last couple of years with the floods, with Gemma leaving, and you know, all of these things have been really difficult on you and your family, because your family's going through all of this with you. Your husband works extremely hard. I saw him putting
I know.
bales of hay up into a loft, thinking, "Oh my gosh," you know,
No,
what if,
with
so
no shoes.
with with no shoes, totally
And
grounded.
he actually had a huge split in his pants as well. And he was
Oh,
like, "Don't put
nice.
that on Instagram." I'm like, "It's all right,
Oh,
no one's looking
yeah.
at that."
You got to be real. Got to be real. So the oil that came up was vetiver, and this is the little baby here, vetiver, and vetiver is all about grounding you into the present. And I
Oh,
think this is
beautiful.
probably something that at the moment you probably, you know, after everything that's been going on, we need to ground ourselves, or you need to ground yourself into the present and have that can-do attitude, which you do all the time. You never stop. You are just this perpetually busy and giving woman, and I just think you're amazing. But it's also about being able to delve deeper into the deeper facets of you. And I think with what you've just done with your certification, I think this
Yeah.
is your true calling. I think that
Yeah.
this is going to go big places. You know, people listening to this now, this is a dream for some of these people, to be able to be around these beautiful animals
Yeah.
and to just be, because we're
Just
living in this very robotic world. It's the alarm goes off, we do this, we brush our teeth, we do our hair. Most
yeah.
people in general will do the same thing day in, day out for every day of their working life. And they
Yeah.
never get that chance to feel, to be. I ask this question to my listeners now. Is this resonating with you? Because here is a beautiful opportunity, both with the mini retreat that we have coming up on the 10th of September, but also there are going to be other days available. There are going to be other opportunities available for you to go and be
Yeah. So we're
with.
taking one-on-one clients as
Oh,
well. So yeah.
thank
So
you.
and
Yes, that was my
EIS,
next question.
yeah, so we're doing we're designing a school holidays program as well for kids, a wellness program for kids, and one-on-one clients and NDIS clients. So, you know, just pretty much every human can benefit from being in nature and connecting with these animals, to provide them a way to regulate their emotions and to just take a moment to think about what's going on for them in their life. And you know, you can get some amazing epiphanies in these paddocks. And that's
Oh,
people just need time and space, you know.
it's beautiful. I've actually went one day, I went trekking up the hill, because there is a waterfall that does work at sometimes during the, I bet it worked really well during the floods.
Yeah.
And there's also a bell tent there, which we thought about doing the event there, but instead we've decided behind Mama Bee now, you can see this is the cottage, and this will all be cleared out in order for everyone to get in there and to lay, relax, feel, be, all of the things, get all of those clairs going within you, that clairvoyance, clairsentience, clairaudience, and just receive for the day. I am like, I can't even tell you how excited I am about this. When we
Me
talk
too.
about it, something inside me just wells with excitement. So I'm going to be placing in the description, I'll be placing all of the information for this amazing event coming up. It'll be you'll be able to go and book through Humanitics. And if you also look on our Instagram, which we'll put those handles as well, you'll be able to
Yeah.
go and book in through there, and we'll just keep on placing information over the next week and a half. I'd say positions are going to go very, very quickly. I don't know. Do you have an amount of people that you were thinking about?
I think we'd probably need to keep it to about 14 people.
Okay.
So that it stays.
I'd get in quick.
Yeah, get in quick. The last one sold out very quickly. We did a similar thing, but this is next level. This is going to be really good. But yeah, we don't want to have it too big, because then you lose that little safe container. You know, it needs to be that bubble. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. And I think that this is going to be extremely successful. So it may just be that we have to do them more regularly. That'll be terrible.
Yay! That'll be so awful. We'll hate it, because that's the most amazing thing. You know, that it's it was Gemma who told me that I should do this work, you know, and I'll probably start crying. But anyway, she left before I could finish it. But she's always here. Oh God. But that's the most amazing thing about it, is that I didn't make the connection or think for a second about how wonderful it would be for me, because I'm, you know, like my other business, we run another business to support the sanctuary, and I'm a graphic designer and a branding person and a copywriter, and I'm go, and I'm running the charity, I'm doing this, and I'm a mum, and a blah, 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 blah. And when we did that first event, I was like, oh my God, this is so good for me too, because I sort of dropped everyone in with this sort of like horse heart, human heart connection, sort of just meditation and gentle sort of just chat about what the horses can offer. And I felt my whole being just go. So, you know, the more and more of this work that we're starting to do, it's kind of saving my life, really, because I was horrendously stressed, and I still am, but it's different. It's shifted gear. I can sort of put that there, and then I've got this whole way of now I just need to go and sniff a horse and everything's okay.
I love that. And I think that Gemma, her legacy will live on, and she is going to keep on teaching us lessons and helping you to heal as well, Mama B. Helping you to heal as well, because she was a healer. She was a healer.
So was incredible being. I've never met another horse like her.
Yes. So
come and sniff horses with us.
It sounds strange, but come and sniff horses with us.
I know, but there's not a better smell like the smell of a horse and fresh pasture. They just, and the nuzzling, and it's a special, special thing.
It'll be incredible. So thank you so much for coming on today. Thanks you.
Thanks so much, darling. Thanks, Sammy.
I love you so much. And just remember to subscribe down below to Ley Lines so that you can meet other incredible people just like Mama B. And I can't wait to see you all on September 10th, 10 a.m. We are looking forward to doing this. It's going to be beautiful.
Yeah, magic abounds. Thanks, darling.
Love you.
Bye.